everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Wednesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. For me, it is quarter to 10 in the evening here right now for me, and I wanted to record this video, and I want this video to follow on from my video I did yesterday about autism, vulnerability and friendships and relationships. And this video today is going to be about communication between autistic and non-autistic people. This is another topic I feel is essential and is important as an autistic woman to speak on and to bring to the public awareness and to the neurotypical community, the autistic community, the disability community, the mental health community. As an autistic woman, I want to discuss this. So today I'm going to be focusing on how autistic and non-autistic or the neurotypical people communicate with each other. I am very lucky. I have a lot of neurotypical friends who I associate with, who I've been around for many years, and have become very trusted friends. So I've been very lucky. I've had enough time to train myself, to learn boundaries, to learn how to communicate with my neurotypical peers, my neurotypical friends who understand me. They know about my autism, they are aware of my autism, they know how I interact, they know how I act around other people, they know how to associate with me and help me out and make me feel good and supported. So I want to talk about that because each autistic person and each neurotypical person are different. We have different ways of communicating. My way of communicating most of the time is pre-planned. It is pre-rehearsed in my head and scripted, and it gives me a structure on how to communicate in the outside world where the world doesn't really like me or doesn't really adjust to me. Also, I'm very lucky that I have a trust and bond with the neurotypical people that I associate with, that I'm friends with, or that I'm colleagues with. It's something that I've been used to doing over the last 10, 12, 14 years since I've been diagnosed with autism. And one thing that I find works for me that will not work for all autistic people, because we're all different, let me stress that, is that I take the time to listen to people. I've learned to pause and stop and self-reflect, and learned to have the other person to have their say on the issue, the topic that we are talking about. I've learned to take a step back, let them have their opinion, then have my opinion, whereas usually it would kind of be me being like, boom, I need this topic out of the way. But now I've learned to step back and take a seat and let them speak on their issues, what they feel. Also, boundaries is another thing that we've both put in place, because when I go out and visit neurotypical people that I associate with, that I know, whether that's my friends in the Elvis community, my non-Elvis friends, my autism service friends, you know, we all have boundaries, we all have limits of how we communicate, how we talk to each other, what topics we bring up, what things are appropriate to say, what things aren't appropriate to say in that aspect. So they are very understanding of my autism and my own barriers and my own boundaries that I need to put into place to self-protect myself. But again, this has took many years to get here. It's taken many years for me to figure this out. It's taken many years for people who associate with me to figure this one out. And again, it can cause communication breakdowns, it can cause miscommunications, it can cause potential communication issues that can be solved rather than just being ended. A lot of my neurotypical friends have helped me improve my communication. So whether that's looking at the camera or looking at them in the face, or being able to get my thoughts out in a way that's not being judged, criticised, bullied, critiqued and made to feel bad and awful. So the amount of communications that I use between myself and non-autistic people that I associate with in the local community, it's that I set a time boundary for myself. So say if I'm out with my friend Andy, or I'm working with a local adult autism diagnostic service, they will give me a time limit, like kind of a time limit of how I speak, what I speak on, and then I let them speak on what they want to speak on, and then we feed back to each other, kind of the trusted communication way. Also give us equal time to speak. So like yesterday I went out with Andy, he spoke for a while, I spoke for a while, he spoke for a while, I spoke for a while, and it's a way of sharing respect, boundaries, privacy, dignity, respect towards him and his respect towards me. So again, it's that boundary of respect and that trust, that barrier. Once you have that certain barrier set in stone, it's very easy to know where your boundaries are. But autistic people like myself, we do struggle with that. It's something that I've learned over the years of practicing basic human communication skills. It's taken me many times of screwing up, feeling rubbish, feeling bad, feeling awful, to thinking, oh no, why did I do that again, Gemma? Why did you say to screw up? Or why did you say that? Why have you said something that you know shouldn't have been said, or you said it in the wrong way, and that person's gone, oh, ow, Gemma? Like, it's kind of hurt me. So, I've been very lucky on the way that people communicate with me. I've been very lucky on the way that people approach me. But again, neurotypical people and autistic people do have our own differences. We do have our own ways of communicating and having our own ways of trust and boundaries. And I think communication is such a open, varied topic. There is lots that I could discuss about communication, but I felt this topic is extremely important to discuss and bring to the public awareness. Also, neurotypical people could be better at communicating with us, period, I think, because a lot of them don't understand our barriers, whether it's our confidence, our speech, how verbal we are, how non-verbal we are, if we make eye contact or not, because our autism is different. We can go through periods of being completely fine and verbal and understanding, but then we get accused of, oh, you're so cold, you don't care, and you don't listen, and it's all about you, like all the time. You don't give a damn about anyone else. That is simply not true. We are so empathetic and so high functioning that we do care about you. We care more about you most of the time than we do our own selves, putting our own health at risk and increasing our sensory overwhelm, our auditory overwhelm, our anxiety overwhelms, just to please you and to make sure that you are okay, rather than our own selves, about acknowledging our own barriers, boundaries, and our own self-respect for ourselves in the wider community. So yeah, we do care. We care a lot more than what you actually think we do. Between an autistic person and a non-autistic person, for me, it's taken me years to get to the point where I can be in a very basic, civil, open, appropriate conversation with a neurotypical person, because it's either pre-rehearsed, pre-scripted in my head, or I'm able to figure out the questions when they're asked at me. So, for instance, say like Andy asks me a question yesterday. He's like, Gem. He's like, how are you? And I looked at him and I'm like, well, Andy, it depends on the context of the question, It depends if you mean mentally, how am I? Physically, how am I? Emotionally, how am I? What do you mean by how are you? So again, it's the context in which the questions are applied and aimed. Also, it can be the fact that we can get overstimulated and overwhelmed at the most basic of conversations. It can take us a while for our brains to stimulate the information, to then process it, think about it, and then respond in the appropriate time manner, the appropriate time frame, without offending you or upsetting you or triggering you. Again, it can also be about not being awkward, or that we're not trying to deliberately obstruct you, or being awkward, or being selfish, or being uncaring, or appearing that we're spoiled brats, because we're not. Communication with autism and non-autistic people can be such a wide thing, because over the years I've known that some non-autistic people that I've known have been like, Gemma, you're a little bit weird, or I find you really difficult to get on with because you just simply don't listen, you simply don't care, or you're just point blank me, and nothing else matters. And that's not the truth. The truth is, for an autistic person, a conversation and communication is such a different way of communicating, because our brains don't work like yours. Our brains are very much black and white, our way or no way. Our way is the way of logic, facts, justice, order, structure, whereas your way is up, down, left, right, sideways, up, down, backwards, because you don't tell us what you mean half the time, so we struggle to communicate with you. And I think that's what causes the problems between the autistic people and the non-autistic people, the neurotypical people, because we do struggle on how to say things to you, how to pick things up, how to come across and relate to you, and that can cause the communication breakdowns. That causes the way that we shut off or get overwhelmed, because we don't know how to act, what to do, what to say. And I want to bring this topic to you. I think it's something that has been a key, crucial conversation I should have brought up on the channel before now, but I want to discuss it because it's been going around on social media as well. And as an autistic person, I am constantly overstimulated every day. It's a new topic, a new person, a new face, a new news item, a new media item. It's something that I experience. I'm just like, Oh, here we go again. It's the constant overwhelm, the thinking, the processing, the logic, the critiquing, my thoughts, the emotions, what happens afterwards, what happens during how I'm feeling, what do I do, how do I self-regulate, how do I calm down, how do I listen to other people. And it is a constant learning curve. It's something that I've learned to be more successful at recently over time, but it's taken me a long time to be successful at it. So I hope that's helped you kind of understand from an autistic perspective, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.